Okay, hello everybody, welcome to TìandTarot, or welcome back to TìandTarot if you've been here before. So today's tarot reading is all about the big blessings that are coming in for you in 2026. So essentially anything good that's coming in for you, anything big or exciting that you want to keep a lookout for, we're going to be diving into that today. So we've got 4 piles for you to choose from, and you can pick your pile in many different ways. So you can pick your pile based on the energy of the pile, which is usually what I do. Basically, that's just picking the pile you feel most intuitively drawn to, either based on the energy of the pile or the crystal on top. You can also pick your pile based on the zodiac signs that I'll include in the timestamps in the description box below. And also in the timestamps, you'll have the timestamp, which, maybe those numbers resonate with you as well, or maybe the number of the pile resonates with you. So essentially you can pick by crystal, number, or energy, or zodiac sign. So we've got pile 1, 2, 3, and 4. And for pile 1, we have the 2 of summer with the Florite crescent moon crystal. For pile 3, we have the 8 of winter with the crackle quartz, the pink crackle quartz. For pile 3, we've got the fairy ring with the malachite heart. And for pile 4, we have the 4 of spring with the Jasper. Okay, so once you've picked your pile, there will be a timestamp in the description box below for you to find your reading more easily, and I will meet you there. Bye guys! Okay, welcome my pile ones to your reading. So starting off, you've got the 2 of summer. So something new in love this way comes. That's what I'm seeing for you. So essentially this is like the 2 of cups. So I think this new year, first of all, it's one you're going to love. You're going to enjoy it. There's going to be so much fun happening for you. So many things that excite you. But on top of that, romance is definitely a key part of your next year. And for those of you who want a relationship, this is definitely hinting at that. But for those of you who really don't want one, you're not interested, it's not your thing, this also means essentially you'll be romanticizing your life. Your life will be very enjoyable and something you love. But it's both of those, depending on which one you like the sound of. You can just pick either or, but both of those are coming through. I also think you're going to be like entering a new phase, like you're beginning a new cycle, and learning new things, growing into this beautiful person that you're meant to be, and also unlocking lots of opportunities, new doors with the key down there. Okay. Let's get you some oracle cards first. We have the Architect for you, first of all. So yeah, creating something new, building something. Oh, we have the Seer, see beyond the current situation. Ooh, okay, interesting. Their hand positions are very key here, I think, as well, in those illustrations. And one has a triangle and one has a circle. Nourishment in reverse with the antelope and wheat. Hi, baby girl. And interesting, we also have Queen Rising, so that's stepping into power, praise, coming up, spotlight in reverse here. And then we also have no facts, never has the facts, makes up shit, lies. Okay. Interesting. Okay, so I'm seeing so much for you in the new year. So we know that you're likely going to be getting a nice romantic relationship, or at least really, really enjoying your life. And I think where I'm seeing this connection between that crescent moon, so I'm thinking of a phase, and then we've got the Queen Rising in reverse there with Nourishment in reverse. Where in the past your life hasn't been fulfilling you, and where you also haven't been stepping into your greatest power. You haven't been leaning into your strengths and becoming this amazing version of yourself. That phase is now continuing. So it's almost like if you have like the moon kind of growing and growing, it reaches this crescent phase and then it almost stopped. It didn't reach that full moon capacity. So now in 2026, it's like that paused phase has now been unpaused, and you're able to claim that queen energy. You're able to live a life that sustains you, that nourishes you, that fills up your cup, makes you feel good, makes you feel like you're enjoying yourself. And this is coming from two places. I think one, you're going to have a really successful creative endeavor. So if there's something you've been wanting to create, wanting to build in your life, it could be maybe a way of living, like a type of lifestyle you've wanted to create and you just haven't committed in the past, where it's like maybe you're someone who wants to wake up at like 6 a.m. and go for a run and like, you know, do all these sorts of things all before the day starts. If you've been struggling to commit to things like that, to a lifestyle or cycle like that, then this is essentially going to help you to commit this next year. But also, beyond that, it could be something like you wanted to start your own business, or you wanted to write a book or make a movie, or, you know, something like that, something creative, or even just build your career and climb in that sort of ladder, in that sort of social setting. You're able to do that this year. And that's where a lot of your success, that peace, that nourishment is coming from. Because of the architect there, you're able to build exactly what it is you need and want to grow. And you're building it yourself as well. The same thing goes with the seer, seeing beyond the current situation. It's almost like in 2026, you have that kind of vision of what you want your life to look like, or your future. And because you have that vision, you're really dedicated to it, you can also see the way forward. So, for example, let's say you're like, okay, I really want to make a movie. And that's always been a goal of yours. And you've always said that, but you've never acted on it. You would then be like, okay, my vision for this year is I want to make that movie. How do I do it? Well, first, I need to gain inspiration. So I might go on a few walks to museums and go look at things and draw inspiration from other pieces of art and be influenced there. And then you're like, okay, cool. Now let me write a screenplay. And now let me think about how I would execute this. And then go from there. And you're setting up like a plan and following it through, because you have the vision and you can see that the only thing stopping you from having that life is your lack of commitment now. It's like, yeah, if you stop at this hurdle, you're not going to get your goal. But if you keep going, you once again open up that door and keep that opportunity available to you, that it will work out if you follow all these steps through. So it's like that you're learning how to climb and move around things and navigate things. On top of that, your relationships are having a massive cleanse, a massive clear out, especially with the no facts down there. I think for you, you'll be with the seer energy with the no facts. It's like you get to see things for what they really are and what they're going to be. Queen of Winter. Yeah, your money is up leveling as well, but we'll get into that. It's like if people, you know, if maybe you found it hard to trust people, and it always seems like the people that come into your life always have like bad intentions, you'll be able to see people's intentions from the get-go now, from the start, so you won't have any issues there. In 2026, you're having like a clear out of any toxicity or bad intentions when it comes to relationships, connections with others. On top of that, there's a double meaning to the no facts and the seer card together. The reason why you're going to be so successful, and the reason why you're not finding that you have the hurdles you used to have in the past, is because you're really devoted and dedicated to making sure your plan and your execution of that plan to reach your goals is seamless. So it's not like you're just winging it. You're doing the research. I see a lot of like studying this year. So you're doing the research to make sure that you're backed up with what it is that you want to achieve. We've got the Queen of Winter as well. So with the Architect, I was definitely seeing you climbing the ladder with that little triangle there, because I think of you know, the pyramid of society, sort of like climbing your way to the top. It's like you have all the employees at the bottom, then you've got the managers, then you've got the team reps, and then you've got their managers, and then all the way at the top you've got like the CEO. So it's almost like, because of what you're able to build and create this year, and you're able to climb in this ambition of yours. It doesn't have to be a career thing, but it definitely can be. And whatever this ambition is, you're climbing it, getting to the top, and up-leveling financially because of that. You're unlocking things you've not had access to before, especially with the seer, being able to see something that isn't quite there yet. So you're unlocking levels of successes and new adventures that you've never seen before. So if you're thinking, oh yeah, it's probably going to be like this because I've had this before, like a raise or something, or oh, it's probably just going to be that like I win a tenner on the lotto or something. If that's what you're kind of thinking, like if you're thinking it's probably this or probably that, it's not, because it's not something you've seen before. It's not something you've experienced yet or had access to before. This is brand new, a brand new experience for you, with new successes that you've never thought of before, that you've never held in your hands before. This is going to be a brand new experience. I wonder what type. Okay, we've got the lupin for like the type of experience this is, and the new beginnings, the success. I think it's one where you're able to fully immerse yourself and enjoy, because when I look at that card, I think of like sitting down, like at a concert, and just really watching and taking it in and enjoying and like breathing in the moment. And it's like everything leading up to that moment, getting the tickets, paying for them, taking the time off work, and now you're here, and it's like you fully immerse yourself, and you don't worry about anything else you think about the moment. It's like that. So to me, I think whatever this new adventure is, and this success that's tied with it, there will be that big moment. You know, everyone in their life has one of those moments where it's like they've achieved something so substantial and so amazing that it's really overwhelming, and it's like their big thing. Because I was watching that horror movie. Well, actually, I wasn't watching the horror movie. I was watching a reaction to it. But you know the horror movie Sinister? That one of the main characters in it, his like big break was this one book that was like his best-selling crime book, and it actually it helped a police officer to solve like a real crime, which made it so big, and it boomed, and he had his, 5 moments of fame, whatever you want to call it. And ever since that moment, he was like chasing that high again, because it's almost like people only get one of those in their lifetime. You get it, you have it, it's amazing, you accept it, and now you move on with your life, I think what this big new adventure is, with this big bit of success, is your big break, is your like 5 minutes of fame, is your, the thing you're acclaimed for. It's the thing that you can say, I did that, and you'll be like, oh, I wrote that one hit song one time, or whatever it is. It feels like that, like something substantial that is hard to get, but usually everyone gets their one big moment. It can be as simple as like someone who plays the violin for so long in their life, and they've been practicing and practicing and practicing. They're now going to play on stage solo at the like O2 or something, and it's a big moment for them. So whatever that moment is for you, it's coming in. You might not have the vision of it yet, because it's something you've not experienced, but you also might, because you do have the seer card there. Okay, so that's what I'm seeing for you, pole one, is this really big break. A phase that was on pause is now moving forward again, so that you can claim your queen rising. I see up leveling in your creation and ambition towards your goals and your finances as well. I see a complete renewal, refresh, clearing out of toxic relationships, bringing in really loving, kind, possibly also romantic relationships, if that's something you're interested in. So before we close off this pile today, and I see you feeling very satiated, fulfilled, very having all your cups full. So before we close off this reading today, you have the opportunity to ask any 3 yes or no questions about this reading. So go ahead and ask your first question now, and I will try my best to answer it for you. Okay, so you got no and maybe. So that implies it's something you have control over. If that's a reality you want to manifest, it's a possibility. ask your second question now. What is this? Okay, we have absolutely not, and we also have it is likely. Again, it's almost like both outcomes are possible depending on how you act, depending on the actions you take. Alright, so go ahead and ask your third question now. We have, it's a no. Okay. So that was your reading, pile 1. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please like, comment, and subscribe, as it really helps the channel out. If you were drawn to any other piles, feel free to check those out now. If not, I hope to see you here next week on Tuesdays and Thursdays for another reading on TìandTarot. Bye! Okay, hello my pile 2s, welcome to your reading. So you chose the 8 of Winter with the Crackle quartz. Nice, okay. So to me, this is like, with the Crackle quartz as well, it's almost like, and the 8 of Winter, you're like burnt out, you're overwhelmed, you reach that breaking point, that cracking point, right? So what I'm seeing for you in the new year is that all of that burnt out energy, all of that stress, all of that, struggle is clearing away. And it could be clearing away because you've decided to relinquish, the responsibilities that are not yours. But it could also be you're like, right, I'm going to pick myself up, look at myself in the mirror, know my worth, and I'm actually not going to stand for this anymore. And if they try and manipulate you, you've got the deceit card, you will outsmart them. We have the coyote and Datura, I always say it wrong, with the deceit card. You will outsmart them. So if it's like, for example, let's say, this is so random, but I was listening to this, the Father Knows Something podcast. We have Warrior, Be Fearless, and Stand Strong. I'll pull all your cards and then talk you through them as I tell you this story. But I was watching that, and someone wrote in about the fact that they've recently moved back in with their parents, and it's great, apart from one thing, their dad will not stop feeding their dog human food that is dangerous to them. And their advice was to AI generate an image of the dog at the vet, like, I don't know, getting its stomach pumped or whatever, and sort of messaging them and being like, this is the bill, you need to pay it, And it's almost like outsmarting them, because once something happens, you'd rather be safe than sorry, but they would rather be sorry than safe. And once they are sorry, they're like, I would never do it again. And it's like, okay, but it's too late. Like, you've harmed the dog, So it's almost like you're outsmarting them, because they would rather be sorry than safe, but you want to be safe rather than sorry, because at the end of the day, it's a detriment to you what happens. So it's almost like that. You're outsmarting the people who are the cause of this overwhelm, this burnout, or the systems or the situation. You're outsmarting it so that you can get what you want and release that energy in the new year. We've also got Warrior, Be Fearless, and Stand Strong. So this is you against your enemies right now. We also have the Path and Moving. Okay. Yeah, you're taking brand new paths. Okay. In my mind, you might be moving. Okay, I have so much to say. So with the moving part, okay, it can feel so easy to think that the situation in your country is the situation everywhere, and you're like, I guess I just have to put up with it. But then actually, if you researched other countries, you might find you would be happier in a different place, and it isn't as costly as you think it is to move there, and you could actually do it. And it's just about being adaptable and like working out that situation. And you might find that, like, you might be someone who thrives in like a nice warm country, but you live in a cold country and you're like, I just want to get out here, like. And then you might find that there is a really lovely warm country with great benefits to move there for, like the sun, like the amenities, the restaurants, like all those things, and it's affordable. So obviously you're moving. I do think you're physically moving, but it can also be, I also think it's a combination there, like of that internal movement as well, of having enough of this and sort of standing up for yourself, drawing a line in the sand. Yes, you're definitely taking action. We've got this person holding this weapon here, we've got a weapon here, and then she's got, like, I'm not sure what it is, but she's also holding something to sort of carve out her path. Yes, okay, so there's that. And with the new path as well, what I'm seeing is, like, you know, if you work at like a really bad place, a really bad company, and you're like, okay, they're not playing ball, I'm gonna look elsewhere. It's almost like that, like upping and leaving, but also, again, being really strategic about it, because it could be a case of, again, Father Knows Something podcast, they had someone write in about, they weren't sure, they liked their job, they were comfortable there, but they needed to go to a different one for some reason, I don't remember why, and they were like, you know, tell them you've found another job, and if they offer you more money, but make sure you've got that other job lined up, and if they offer you more money, stay. So it's not like leave and stick to that decision and never be, you know, moving on that. If they offer you something good to stay, an incentive, it's just about being strategic. So it's almost like that, like, from what I'm seeing on your cards, it could, if we look at it from a career perspective, as this is a winter coin card, it could be that you work in a company, they always give the big promotions to outside external people, but then you train them up. Bear in mind, you're below them and you're getting paid less, but you're training them to do the job you applied for, but they got it. You know, it's almost something like that. And then you're finally saying enough is enough. You're not going to be training them. You're not going to be doing all this extra stuff that they want you to do that you're not qualified to do. It's not in your job description. It's not your role. And then it's almost like you're getting, like, cunning about it. And you're ready to fight and stand up for yourself. And so you kind of, you put yourself out there for a new position, a better position in a different company, and you bring this to them. And they might offer you something, they might not, but either way, you're ready to draw that line in the sand and move on to something better for you. So it could be financial, but it could also be anything. This could be a relationship where they're taking you for granted, or even just the system in general, the way it works isn't set up well for your personal enjoyment, and you're finding a way around it. You're definitely drawing a line in the sand. I love that we've got so many warrior knight energies, and we've got the orchard. So essentially, because of this new path that you're being led down, because of this move and this sort of cunning energy and this warrior energy, the strength you have to move and create that new path, you're reaching a place of pure success and fulfillment next year with the orchard. So this is like, the orchard is kind of like if you had your best life ever, where you're financially stable, you don't need to do anything else, you've got your big house all to yourself, and you're like out in your orchard reading your book, like picking apples off the tree and eating them, like basically just living your best life. So this basically means that's what you're getting in 2026, is your best life, your best version, because of all of this change, because you're saying no more and you're standing up against this. That's what we're seeing. The page of summer is interesting there, because I wonder if maybe in the past you've been blocked either from just enjoying your life, and maybe that's now changing for you, or if maybe you've been blocked from romantic connections in the past and that's changing for you. It could have been situations where maybe it was like a triangle situation, or just as you're getting to know someone, all of a sudden your best friend is very interested in them and you're like, what the hell? Like, it's stuff like that where there's been a little bit of underhandedness behind it. I feel like it's clearing out, and that's no longer the case, and you're gonna get your person who doesn't have like a wandering eye and who, you know, can't be pulled away from you because it's you they're interested in. So there's something around that in the new year as well that I'm seeing. Also potentially like a collaboration, maybe new friends, maybe new experiences, but something new along the lines of connection is what I'm seeing. But I'm also seeing lots of achievement, lots of new boundary setting, lots of changes. Because if this rod is like one change, you've got 4 changes. 4 big changes coming up in your new year. Let me look at what those are. Ooh, the mirror, a glow up, first of all. Okay. So one of the big changes is a glow up. I would say a physical one. Ooh, another change is your action. The things you physically do, the things you choose to do, your behavior. Another change is your lifestyle, your success, your achievements, your accomplishments. You're like drawing them in. Yes, and another change is moving. With the forget-me-not, it's moving, it's leaving things behind that don't serve you. It's walking away and saying enough is enough. You're creating these positive changes. You're creating all of this as well. That is very interesting. Okay, so it's like physical glow up, behavioural glow up, which is then in turn affecting your lifestyle. So you're achieving a lot, there's lots of successes, and there's lots of movement, travel, fun, adventure. That's also what we're seeing. Okay. So, before we end this reading, you have the opportunity, pile 2, to ask any 3 yes or no questions about the year ahead or this reading. So go ahead and ask your first question now, and I will answer it for you now. So you have, go ahead and ask question 2 now. We have as long as you're ready. And go ahead and ask question 3 now. Ooh, we have more of a cryptic, what do you think? So that means you have the answer there. Okay, so that was your reading, pile 2. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please like, comment, and subscribe. And if you were drawn to any other piles, feel free to check those out now. If not, I hope to see you here next week on Tuesdays and Thursdays for another reading on TìandTarot. Bye! Okay, hello my pile 3s. Welcome to your reading. So you chose the fairy ring with the Malachite. So definitely massive change is happening. And it's going to be really fulfilling to you with the heart shape there as well. Really something that makes you happy. So a massive breaking in a cycle, a massive change. It could have been like a toxic cycle breaking, but there is something breaking next year that is going to be perfect for you. We have the serpent. Love that. We have the seer in reverse. I think pile 1 had the seer as well, but not in reverse. But if you were drawn there, you might want to check that out as well. I believe it was pile 1. We have the rooster and sunflower with communication. We have dust it off in reverse. Okay. We have the 6 of autumn, the king of winter. We have grace. We have the knight of autumn. We have the goldfinch. And the divine. Yeah, really strong like seer energy, which is interesting. It's kind of like trust the process, almost, is coming through. I think you're going to stop overthinking something. There's something you want. It could be this break in this cycle. But you're overthinking it too much, and it's almost like you have to ignore it while also actively like doing it, if that makes sense. So let's say, I'm going to use the example of writing a book. If you always procrastinate and you keep thinking, oh my god, I keep procrastinating, I need to write it, I'm going to do 300 words today, and then you skip again, you're going to keep skipping and keep putting all this pressure on yourself. But if you treated it like any other thing in any other day, and you're like, oh, I missed it today, no worries, or the next day you're like, I've got time to write, I could do that, and stop putting the pressure on, it kind of starts to flow naturally, and then you've broken that writer's block cycle. And you can move forward now with that ambition. So it's like that. You need to both ignore it, but also do it like it's not. By ignore it, I kind of mean like don't be intimidated by it, and just do it like it's natural, and it will become natural. it's so interesting. I'm definitely seeing like external divine wisdom coming into you in ways that you're not aware of. So it's not like a message through talking or anything like that. It's a communication that kind of goes ignored. It's your intuition. It's with this card, it's like breathing. It's with this card, it's like dreams. With this card, it's trusting your intuition. So it's almost like all of those things, dreams, intuition, natural alignment with life, with the breathing there, taking deep breaths, Zen moments, meditation, yoga. You're communicating with an external source of wisdom that's going to help you to break this cycle in 2026. There's definitely big trust the process energy. You're finding the balance you need in life to be able to walk your journey and your path. There's lots of good luck on your side as well, with the goldfinch, the little ladybug in there. And with the King of Winter, your money is up-leveling drastically. You're getting into a really secure, good place financially. I do see you moving on from something, because with the dust it off, it's like, but it's coming through in reverse. It's almost like saying leave something behind. And then with that 6 of autumn, we're getting again that move on, leave it behind kind of energy. I wonder what you're leaving behind. Let's have a look. We have the Knight of Winter. You need to leave behind your generosity for some reason. So you're leaving behind your generosity. It could be with this cycle here that you're a little bit too giving, to the point that you allow people to walk all over your boundaries, walk all over you. And so you're leaving behind this version of yourself in the past so that you could become this new version that trusts the process, trusts your intuition, knows that the decisions you've made are correct. You don't have to feel guilty or worried or think, was that the right move? It was the right move for you. It felt like the right thing to do in the moment, Yeah, you're not, with that Knight of Autumn, I think it's like you're not going to get manipulated anymore. If people, especially if this is like a toxic family cycle or generational cycle or something, you're not going to get manipulated. You're not going to be, pulled in to do things you don't want to do, or made to feel guilty for things you shouldn't feel guilty of. You're ending communication with something toxic in the new year, which is a blessing to you, because it allows you to transform into this version of yourself that isn't living in fight or flight, isn't fazed by negativity, kind of darkness, shadows watching them. You keep walking the line and not worrying about these people anymore, because you've almost cut off communication from something toxic or something that was causing you harm with that toxic cycle. And that imbues you with happiness, fulfillment, love, enjoyment, peace. Trusting that the decisions you make are right and that you're worth listening to. Like sort of stepping into your queen energy in a way. Yeah, you're definitely leaving it behind, and there are new beginnings for you with that goldfinch. So I can see you being free. This is a year of freedom, of setting you free from toxic cycles, toxic people, toxic communication. You're being set free from all of that. I can also see you living like a very simple life, like enjoying what you've got because it's peaceful, rather than in that like fight or flight, toxic, atmosphere. You're enjoying the little things about life, those little moments. And also you might be traveling. It could just be you're moving away from this toxic energy, but it can also be travel as well. Yeah, and that lack of communication is definitely key to success. What successes will that bring? We've got the Ace of Spring, so essentially I would say that that's kind of like what it's bringing in for you is a new sense of inspiration, a new sense of action, and like you've been revived almost. Like you were kind of frozen, stuck in time, unmoving, weighed down and sad because of all of this toxicity around you, and now it's like you can move again. Really weird, but it kind of reminds me of this dream I had where I pulled out a tarot card and it had a cemetery on it, and I recognised the cemetery, so I went into the tarot card, and in the tarot card there was a statue of Medusa, like a stone grave statue of Medusa. And above her next to her was a tree that was quite old and decaying and like hadn't been maintained very well. And within the tree, there was a stone snake that was sort of frozen in time, but it looked like it had been heading towards her head, like it was going to come down to her to like almost imbue a bit of wisdom to her, but it had also been frozen in time. And the other half of the snake, so the head was frozen, but the body morphed into a branch of the tree, implying it's being revived again, it's coming back to life. And we've got the dust it off, we've got the snake and the tree there, which is reminding me of this, with the death underneath it. But trees are life, you know, so it's almost like coming back to yourself. That's what's coming through to me, is like you're being revived, you're coming back to yourself, whoever it is you were supposed to be, the true you underneath all the shit you've been through and all the difficulties you go through. You're coming back to who you are, you're reviving a part of yourself, or you're starting anew at least. And you're leaving behind this energy that kind of froze you in time and kept you trapped and stuck. Yeah, I see that, especially you've got the 5 of Autumn in reverse with the mirror on the ground. It's like there's no need anymore, because the law of Medusa, using the mirror to kind of slay her. There's no need for you to be on the lookout for things that are going to freeze you or harm you or trap you in time. So you can kind of leave that mirror behind and move forward, because it's a year of freedom for you. It's a year of peace and enjoying simplicity and breaking toxic cycles. That's what I'm seeing for you, pile 3. Before we close off your reading, you do have the opportunity to ask any 3 yes or no questions about your reading or the year ahead. So go ahead and ask your first question now, and I will answer it for you now. So first of all, you have weather permitting. So that means so long as everything's in order, then yes. But if not, then no. Ask your second question now, and I will answer it for you now. You have affirmative. And go ahead and ask your third question now. We have asked me closer to the time. Okay. Interesting. I'll do like quarterly check-ins with your like blessings coming in and stuff. So Jan, Feb, March, or April, May, June. You know, I'll do it like that. So you can pop back in and ask again if this is something you're curious about. But that was your reading, pile 3. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please like, comment, and subscribe. And if you were drawn to any other piles, feel free to check those out now. As I said, check out pile 1 if you were drawn to it. But if not, I hope to see you here next week on Tuesdays and Thursdays for another reading on TìandTarot. Bye! Okay, welcome pile 4s to your reading. So you chose the Jasper and the 4 of Spring. So lots of celebration happening for you. Lots of achievement, accomplishment, celebration. Lots of like completion, like completed cycles. So lots of positivity for you in the new year. So let's get you some oracle cards first. Oh, I love this. Okay, we have the lizard and pitcher plant with stagnation. I love that. You're moving, you're clearing out that stagnant energy in this new year. I also love all the colours on that. It's so pretty. Ooh, the gate. Yes, you're entering a new phase. You're moving. Okay. Ooh, we have Magic Guardian. Unlock the magic within. We also had this Crow card with Autumn, Release the Old and Rest. Okay, we have Carless in reverse. Maybe you're getting a car next year, who knows? Or maybe it's just referencing the movement that we're seeing. Okay, let me just kind of reorganize these a little bit. This should be fine here. Okay, so yeah, first of all, I'm seeing a clearing out of stagnant energy, of energy that has nowhere to go. So essentially, you're finding ways and places to put your energy. Right, so we've got the Lovers, so it could be a new relationship that you're putting this energy into. Or a new dream of yours with the Star card, a new pursuit, especially. Yeah, also with the moon card, that has an energy of that. And then we also have the 6 of spring there as well. And the Queen of Spring in reverse. Lovely. Okay. With the gate, it's a little bit different to the path, because when we have the path card, which I believe we had in pile 2, that's kind of like you're just changing your route, your fate path, where you're heading. The gate is like you've transcended something, like you've actually stepped off of this realm into another one. Like it's almost like you've jumped or skipped a timeline of something. So it's almost like jumping straight to the successful bit with that 4 of spring there as well. You're jumping straight to the end of completion. Things just pick up. So if, for example, in your mind you're thinking, okay, so I've got like 10 months, I think, left of this thing at my work, and once I complete that project, then I can be promoted to that promotion, and you have all of these steps in your mind that you have to do to get to this end goal of like being the CEO or something. But instead, they just come to you and they're like, no, actually, you've done it all and we're really impressed. Let's go straight there. It's like that, right? But that's not what's happening, by the way. That's just the example I'm giving you so you can see what I mean by jumping, like timeline, jumping something. So rather than you sitting there and doing all the grueling work and like persevering and pushing through it, it's just like you're through it. It's done. And then it's because you've got this Magic Guardian card here. So potentially there are spirit guides in 2026 that are really helping you to get there. But also it's about your intuition and connecting with that as well. And trusting where it leads you. The desires you have, the things you want are there because you're meant to do it and because you're good at those things. And you know that within. So if you listen internally to what you want, that will lead you towards your success because it's things you're naturally good at. You may also be getting a car. But more likely, that could be a case for some of you. You might be working on, passing a driving test and getting a car, so that could definitely be coming in. But what I see that as more than not is movement. So rather than that stagnation, that pause, that stuck energy, it's moving. Things are progressing, and this is definitely in the avenue of your dreams, because all of these things are in reverse, which means these were on pause and they're now being, returned to you. So definitely new romantic relationships and big dreams coming true as well. You're also, I think in the past you might have struggled with being like the leader of your own life, having this confident, big, bold energy, but that's reversing now and you are stepping into that. You're being who you're meant to be. You're leading with positive, confident energy. There's definitely a sense of growing and courage as well, and moving forward, like moving on, because we've got the movement card here as well, and here there's a sense of moving on from something, especially with the gate there. There's something you're leaving behind, and it's not like necessarily a negative thing, it's just, I think, a phase of your life. So as I said, where you're thinking you're going to have to do a lot of work to get somewhere, and actually you just get there. It's like you're leaving behind that idea that you had of what you thought life was going to be, that expectation. So it's kind of like leaving that behind almost, and growing and becoming this new version of you. I see lots of like study as well in the new year, because I think it's going to take you places that you're not actually expecting. So it's almost like you knew you had a plan for how everything was going to work, but because you've almost jumped forward a little bit, you're now like, okay, so I need a new plan. And it's almost like you're a little bit out of your depth, a little bit out of water, like a fish out of water. So it's almost like you need to be creative and do a little bit of research and think about what's next. Think about the new path you want to be on. And that little ribbon around that flower is really reminding me of this like Aries, April, Easter kind of, I say Easter, it's not really Easter, but like spell that you can do with a tree, where basically you offer it a ribbon and like say your wishes to it and things like that. So it might be worth you kind of speaking your intentions and your wishes for the new year to like a tree or to the universe. Like, just speak it out loud and try and manifest that in as well. But yeah, I am seeing massive accomplishment in the things you're interested in your dreams, as well as in your romantic life. And I see you moving on to greater, better things. Okay, Before I end your reading, you have the opportunity to ask any 3 yes or no questions about this reading or the new year. So go ahead and ask question 1 now, and here's your answer. So we have you're having a laugh. Go ahead and ask question 2 now, and I will try my best to answer it for you now. We have no way. So go ahead and ask question 3 now, and I will try my best to answer it for you now. So we have might be and weather permitting. So the jury's out on that one. Okay, but that was your reading pile 4. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please like, comment, and subscribe. And if you were drawn to any other piles, feel free to check those out now. If not, I hope to see you here next week on Tuesdays and Thursdays for another reading on TìandTarot.